Assalamu alaikum student. Chapter number 6, Enzymes. And today my topic is about enzymes and enzymatic reaction. First, we will define what are enzymes. Enzymes are protein that catalyze biochemical reaction and are not changed during the reaction. En mean inside, enzyme mean yeast. The name enzyme was taken due to observation when yeast was introduced in fruit sap, which has converted it into alcohol. Now, without the yeast, fruit sap cannot convert into alcohol. And with the help of yeast, when yeast and its enzyme converted this fruit sap into alcohol. This is what in nature these enzymes are protein that help in any biochemical reaction. And in the end, they are not changed and same during the whole reaction. Now student, there is a diagram from which you easily understand the meaning of enzyme. In this picture, enzyme attached with substrate and the formed of enzyme substrate complex, and at the end of the reaction releases the product from the enzyme and same as it is. Now the enzyme which is in the start of the reaction same as it in the end of the reaction. Now there is no change in the shape and position in the enzyme when it is attached with substrate and when it is produced the product. Now question is that how the enzymatic action takes place and they act. These enzymatic action studied under these three steps: substrate, product, and activation energy. Now we will understand the meaning of enzymatic action. We will know what are substrate, product, and the enzymatic energy. What are substrate? Substrate are those molecules at which enzymes act during a chemical reaction are called substrate. Now in any reaction, the reactant which is converted into product is called as substrate. What are product? The molecules where enzyme converted into substrate into different molecules are called product. And at the end of the reaction, when enzyme convert substrate into end product, so these molecules are called product. Here the question, what is activation energy? All chemical reactions require activation energy. Here is a definition of activation energy, that minimum energy required to start a chemical reaction is called activation energy and act as a barrier. How it acts as a barrier? In the beginning of the reaction, enzyme lower such barrier by decreasing the requirement of activation energy. And if we want to start any reaction, in the starting of the reaction, the energy that the reactant need is minimum. That energy work as a barrier. Now look at this picture. In this picture, in this diagram, if we want to convert the reactant into product, that reactant cross this barrier, and that barrier is the activation energy. And the activation energy requires the minimum energy to start that reaction, and that is without enzyme. And in the other hand, if the reaction have enzymes, there the reactant converted in the product is easily. Now, how these enzymes play an important role in the reaction. Let's see in the diagram. In any reaction, the reactant convert into the product. The activation energy is less. So, the reactant will easily cross this barrier to convert the reactant into product with the help of the enzyme. Now, in both the diagrams, if we compare the activation energy, so that without enzyme, the activation energy is maximum, and with the enzymes, the activation energy is less. So, in this case, the reactant can easily convert the reactant to the substrate, a reactant to the product. Now, what are the ways of lowering the activation energy? By altering the shape of substrate, disrupting the charge distribution or on substrate, bringing substrate in the correct orientation to react. Look at the picture in this diagram. When this substrate bind with the active site of enzyme and according to the shape of substrate, now it is called enzyme substrate complex, and in this enzyme substrate complex converted into product. The product is formed and the enzyme releases the product from its and remain in the same shape and position. Now in this diagram, how the enzymes attach with substrate and change its orientation and converted this substrate into the product form. Now hope you understand the meaning of the substrate, product, and how the enzymes combine with this substrate to form the product easily, and without the enzyme, how the reaction takes place and how the substrate work as a barrier, right? I hope you understand all the enzyme and the enzymatic reaction. Thank you.